Hi, so having purchased the MK U87 mod very recently myself and been through the process of slightly apprehensively opening it all up and trying to get to grips with the swap over, I thought I would share a short video to show you how remarkably easy and unworthy of sweating too much about it is, as long as you're careful. You don't need any tools or anything like that, just these ones. So this is a standard U87Ai. It's not a U87. This mod will not work in the U87. The U87Ai plus one other, I think it might be the TLM67 or something. I can't remember off the top of my head. Anyway, to begin with, what we want to do is unscrew the bottom there, and then just very gently just ease this body off while gently holding on to the capsule assembly at the top, and it just loosens up. You can slide it down and off. I'll put that off over there. Now this is the inside of your U87Ai. Now, to release the bottom part from the capsule top, you have these two rails at the side which move in and out like that. They are slightly hinged in the center, so you don't want to be pinching in at the bottom because that will force the tops outwards. You want to be pinching in around this top part here, which will then release these rails from the inside of the capsule assembly. So just gently pinch in, and then again firmly grasping the top, very slightly left to right, very gently, but mostly gentle pressure, steady upwards, wiggle, wiggle, gently, gently, and there it just slides out. And you see when I let go, they pop out. So these rails, when you squeeze them in, they move in and out, and they just slot into these spaces on the side here. And then you'll just reverse this process with the replacement. So let's put that puppy there. Put that over there. And here we go. The lovely MK U87, courtesy of Mr. Max Kircher. Hopefully I've pronounced that correctly. And this basically does exactly the same thing. These are the equivalent of the pinch rails on the side. This is the front, this is the back. There's your tube, your valve in there. And these are the pinholes that it goes into. Similarly, obviously it has the back and the front. And while we're here, when you want to, if you want to switch between the supplied PF86 and if you want to maybe use an EF86 tube instead, this here, you see there's a small rocker switch just there. It's very simple, nothing difficult, and you can just switch between that. I believe it changes the voltage to the tube heater. I'm not exactly sure, but I believe that's what it is. So I have the one that Max supplied in there for now, so I'll leave it on the PF86. I'll turn it round to make sure that the valve is on the back. Then again, the same way as before, line up the holes, line up the rails, and gently pinching the rails in at the top. Once it's lined up, you can just gently wiggle it in. You hear a nice satisfying click. It's not going anywhere, it's seated. And then once again, we can just reverse the process, slide this gently on, and then just wiggle, wiggle, wiggle till it latches in there. There it goes. Okay, it's firmly straight on there. Put this back on there. And that's it, U67 MK in place. The version that I got of the U67 from Max, this is June 2021. I just received it, and it has the switchable mode between the original vintage 67 sound and the U67 reissue sound, and that switching is enabled by using the high pass filter switch on the back of the 87i capsule element portion here. So switching this to the high pass will give you the slightly brighter reissue sound, and leaving it in its default off position will give you the original vintage sound. So vintage, reissue, back to vintage. And I have found very good uses for both. Yes, so almost rather than having one mic, I almost feel like I have 3 mics now. Anyway, hope that was helpful. And thank you, Max.